What's poppin', people? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do something that's kind of a mix of a normal reaction to another fitness person's video and also a routine reactions video. Because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going through a video called Posing Tips with Classic Physique Mr. Olympia that was posted by Chris Bumstead about 2 years ago. So I'm going to go through, check out the poses, see what sort of tips he gives, see if I learn anything new, see if you can learn anything new, and see if there's anything I can add. I mean, it is Chris, so hopefully he's got it on lock.
About the good old days and all that, you know, tracking my roots, where I came from.
Hope I don't get copyright hit.
Alright, so first pose gives me the front double bicep. This is one of my favorite poses because my strongest point, getting hit from the front straight on, that's where I look the best. And a little tip and trick on how you can hit this in a more classic way. Instead of standing with your feet straight on and like super symmetrical down the middle, it's a little more classic. I turn my left foot out further, and my right foot stays straight. I drop my hip slightly in a little bit, just to give a little bit more of an illusion that your waist is smaller. And from there, you flex your legs. And I personally like to hit a vacuum because it makes my waist look smaller and my lats up a little bit more. And from there, you want to bring it up. Even though your hips are rotated, you want to make sure your shoulders are straight onto the stage in front of you. And that makes you look much wider and gives you much bigger stage presence.
So just off the bat, really, really good tips. Yes, it does make it a little more classic to have one of your legs out. That's more of a classic physique kind of thing. There were people back in the day, like Arnold, hit his straight legs on, but just having that classic look, having that kind of more flow to it, the leg out is pretty much standard for industry standard for classic. It's something straight up last year when I met Kevin LeBron at the Olympia. I was hitting my front double with my legs a little closer together, not quite straight on like Arnold's, but like just kind of a little lean. One of the first things Kevin did was open my legs up, bring that extra space out, because you're looking for what's called an X frame on the bodybuilding stage. So that means wide at the bottom, wide at the top, skinny at the middle, make an X. It is not just the V. The V is kind of a men's physique thing and an aesthetics thing. It's about the X. You gotta have the big legs going out too. So building those legs out is big. Another big thing that he kind of went over just for 1 second that I think is absolutely huge, huge, huge for hitting these poses is that mention of the hip. When he has that extended leg out there, what he does is he pushes that leg on the ground and he drops that hip. Having that hip rotation right there is one of the biggest things that's gonna make a difference in A, your obliques popping, and B, that difference in your waist versus shoulders. It's also gonna make a big difference in like the level of comfort that you look like you have on stage. So that little hip dip right there, if you've checked me out on any other socials or you watch my shorts here, you'll notice that's one of the big things that I mentioned in my how to set up an archer pose video. It's interesting how much he's mentioning the legs on it, but the video's not showing them. Not saying he doesn't have legs, he obviously has great legs. Videographer, editor, do better. Editor, do better.
Alright, so second pose I'm going to hit from the ab side pose. This is another strong pose of mine because it allows me to show off my small waist and allows me to use my vacuum. So I personally like to transition within the pose from showing off my abs to showing off the vacuum. That's just my way of showing off a few of my strong points. I'm going to hit this from the bottom down again. When I hit my legs at the start, I like to have my left foot pointing out more and then put my right foot a bit in front and then rotate it out so that you can show a bit of your adductor as well as your quads moving out and give you an illusion that your leg is bigger than it is. And when you go up, you crunch down to your abs. You want to think about leaning back a little bit because that allows your lower abs to come out. Personally, I have smaller lower abs, so they come out until I lean back more. From there, when I hit go into my vacuum, I take a step back and put my legs beside each other to give that, again, that illusion that my legs are a little wider. My vacuum makes my waist smaller, so it really gives that big shape, big legs to a small waist. The last little trick that I like to do behind my head, I rotate my fist into the back of my neck. What that allows it to do is allows your biceps and your arms to pop a little bit more, so your arms appear look bigger instead of just disappearing.
fantastic tips on the abs and thighs. No wonder his is so good. Me personally, I do the vacuum first because you have to breathe out to do the vacuum, and then you also have to have a little, you know, obviously more of your breath out to do the crunched abs, but you can breathe a little better with the crunched abs. So I hit the vacuum first, take that deep breath out, get that big vacuum in there, and then I'll crunch into it so that I have a little more chance to breathe. Clearly, his lung capacity is quite better than mine, so maybe that's something I should work on this off season. So as far as the tips, obviously you want to show the inner thighs, you want to have the inner thighs more developed. That's one of the issues that I have personally on stage. So make sure that you have those inner thighs developed, to make sure you know how to rotate them and check them out. Also, don't just do right leg because he does right leg, don't do left leg because I do left leg. Pick which leg to you feel like you have you like the musculature more on, because you know the quad is a four-headed muscle, plus there's a couple other muscles in the thighs. It's very, very uncommon for someone to have the exact same look between those four heads of the muscles and all those other things. There's a lot of pieces together that have to be exactly the same for you to have that exact same look. So one of your legs you're gonna like better. Pick which one you like better and use that one. I also love how he pointed out that you're not just crunching forward on it, because that's gonna take the abs away, and especially those lower abs, if you're covering them over, it's gonna cover the fat. So you're leaning back, and then you're bringing tension forward into the abs by bringing the rib cage forward, but you're leaning back almost with your actual body. The last tip that he used is a fantastic tip I have given to many, many friends of mine that really helps you not only bring the arms out by flexing in there, but if you do it right and you go to where you're on the side view there, you can drive the hands into the back of your head, drive your neck back, and use that to drive your elbows forward. And that will help not only bring out your arms, but your lats as well, which again contributes to that X factor, just like he was talking about, the small legs coming into, or the big legs coming into the small waist with that vacuum. That again then goes out into the lats. So just what we were talking about, it's that X frame, big to small to big.
Tricks you can do to hit that. First off, again, starting with the legs, you put your foot in the middle of your foot, your one foot in the middle of the other foot. You want to make sure you're dragging this hamstring across this leg, but this leg is actually pushing out the back hamstring, allowing it to hang and look bigger than it is. Second, you want to never forget to flex your glutes. You don't want your glutes to look too small, everything else. So drag the hamstring out, flex your glutes, and then the upper body. Personally, I like to kind of vacuum. Allows me to stick my chest up, but regardless, you want to make sure your chest is up to look as big as possible. You don't want to have any gaps. So if you're ever hitting it like this, or like this, and there's a gap where you can see behind you through your body, that's not good. You want to hide everything, still look big. Also, as you're turning, it's a back chest, you just fully flex, and taking this shoulder, shoving into this pec, just bring out all the striations in this chest. From there, second pec, you want to lift up as high as possible, drag that shoulder back, and again, rotate your body as much as possible so you look wide as possible on the top, small waist again, and then the big hamstring on the top. So all together, drag the hamstring, bring the chest up, flex that back neck, rotate the body. Way back, way back, way back.
So you'll notice even on those side poses, what are we looking for? Wide up top, small in the middle, width down on the bottom. X frame, X frame, X frame. Take the eyes on a journey, make them go X frame. Anyways, the tip with the hamstring, fantastic. Notice he didn't say flex hamstring. He cut you, what you really need to do is kind of let that hamstring kind of hang, let all the pieces of the hamstring be loose, and then drag that front leg across the inner thigh of the back leg, almost be rotating that back leg in, because that's going to push the hamstring out. Very similar to how he did with his pec, where that back arm pushes the chest across. It's like the difference in if I hold my arm up like this, or I can take the two fingers and hold it up like that. You know? That's kind of what you're trying to do with that hamstring there. So, great tips for the side chest. I'm interested to see how he closes out the video, because we still got another minute of this.
In hindsight, I'm the only one to blame. I ain't picky, I'm just real specific. I want nothing less than terrific. I know y'all get it. I'm aggressive, so our style is clashing. Killer instinct, and I play with passion. I'd rather be hated but be a winner.
Alright, so those are three of my favorite poses. all it takes is a lot of practice in front of the mirror, by yourself, with other people who know posing better, kind of fixing and fine-tuning everything, making sure you're hitting your pose that makes you look the best, you look the biggest, shows off your strong points, and hides all your weak points. Hopefully you guys like this video. Be sure to subscribe to Jack Factory for more.
Great way to end the video there. Again, like I mentioned, everyone is different. Even your legs are going to be different than each other. So the way you hit a pose is not going to be exactly the same way he does. It's not going to be the same way I does. It's not going to be the same way Frank Zane did. But looking at those people that inspire you is a great way to learn what you want to look like and what would you like to emulate. And then you can use that to influence the way that you then do your own posing. Another thing he said, again, the best way to get better at posing is by to continue doing posing, and also to kind of put the ego out of it. Let yourself, obviously your own feedback is really the thing that matters the most. How do you like to hit the pose? What do you think of yourself when you're in the pose? That is what's going to matter above all the most. But getting your friends in there, maybe getting some more experienced bodybuilders, maybe working up the way to even hiring a posing coach, whether they be an in-person posing coach or an online posing coach. For example, I do both. Having that extra set of eyes, having the chance to have someone to work with is really important. Posing is something that I feel like I'm very skilled at, and like I said, offer my services to help others improve their posing. And I still work with a really fantastic posing coach named Ray Baker, and he's helps me elevate my game. I help contribute back to him, help him elevate his game. And it's one of those things where, again, just like Ziz used to say, we're all gonna make it. We only get better by all of us getting better. You're not gonna actually get any better if you're just worried about someone else getting worse. So get better, find some friends who you want to pose with, take some chances, learn some things from them. If they say, hey, can you try it like this? Try it. And if you don't like it, don't do it. But really try to help each other out and contribute those things, and we're all going to get better together. Thank you guys so much for coming. I'll see you soon.